Hello everyone, in this video we are going to learn how to insert the data and information in point sources and diffuse sources worksheets. So first of all we will start with the point sources. In this worksheet we have a lot of things that we need to insert, and this one is one of the most critical sheets that control the water quality in the river. So first of all, the first column, which is column A, we need to just insert the name of the point source. So in this example for Fox River, so this is Fox River, we have a lot of point sources. Is around 80 point sources. So we have two types of point sources. The first one is the obstruction. That means we're going to take the water from the river itself, such as going to use it for water treatment plant or any other purposes. And the second type of point source is the inflow. That means we are going to drop the water inside into the river. So this could be like a wastewater treatment plant, or maybe a tributary, small river drainage system, or any other things. So let's have a look into the tutorial. For example, let's say, so you can say this is the river, and we have we have here 8 ridges. Then you can see this is the point source, just like single point of flow goes into a ridge. And we have this is point obstruction. That means we are going to take the water from the river from a single point. So guys, what we need to insert exactly for point sources. So first of all, we need to insert the name. Second, we need to specify the tributary number. For this case, we are going to just use 0 for all point sources, because we are simulating a single river without any tributaries. This we do need to insert it. It will be generated by Qual2k. And here we need to insert the location. So for example, now the first point source, it will put its discharge to this location 155.95 from the downstream. So for example, let's say if I'm just going to use the pen to explain something. For example, let's say this is the Fox River. So the downstream located here. So this is the downstream, and here is the upstream. So the downstream, we will just consider it 0 kilometers. So we'll start to accounting from the downstream. So this is 0 kilometer, and here we'll just put the whole length of the river that we are going to simulate. So in this case, the total length of this river is, we can just take it from the ridge worksheet. So this is the ridge. So the first point or the upstream location is this value. You can see we just copy this value and just put it. I'll just put it somewhere here. So this is the value. Okay. So now the first point source, based on this example, let's go to the point source. Point sources is here. So the first one is at 155.95 kilometers. So it's supposed to be somewhere here, close to the upstream. Okay, so this is the first point source. Okay, so now let's go back to Qual2k. Okay, so we need to insert the point, the location at which this point source put the discharge. Second, we'll keep the 0 because this is inflow point source. So we need to insert the amount of the discharge in meter cube per second. Then after that, we are going to insert the water quality parameters for this flow. So for example, we need to insert the different parameters such as temperature, specific conductance, inorganic, suspended solid, and so on. So you can notice that we have inserted the water quality parameters for this point source. So what is the meaning of mean, range divided by 2, and time of max? So let's go to the manual, and now let's go to page 88, for example. Let's see if it's into 88. Okay, so okay guys, let's go to the tutorial or to the user guide manual, and you can say here in this chart, for example, this is for temperature. Let's say this is for temperature. It started from 6 a.m. in the morning to 6 p.m. in the evening. So guys, let's go to the manual and check what does that means. So for example, let's see, this is the readings of the temperature. So now it started from 6 and end by 6, so 24 hours. So you can notice that here is the maximum value of the temperature, which is, for example, 20.7. Then the time of maximum value is 17 and 30 minutes. And we have the mean value is 20. So this is the mean value. We just need to insert it here. This is the mean. Then we have the range divided by 2, which is the difference between the mean and the maximum value. We just insert it here. Then finally the time of the maximum value, which is this time. We just need to insert it here. So this is how to insert all water quality parameter for this point source. So let's have a look in detail one of these point sources. For example, let's take like let's have a look. So for example, let's have a look in this point source, which is Spring Creek. So let's go to the map and discover it. So this is the Spring Creek. This is the Fox River. So this just like, you know, very tiny river. The water and the discharge goes from the Spring Creek into the Fox River. So this is the location. We need to identify this location from the downstream. Then we need just to identify and insert the water quality parameter for this location. So the distance from the downstream was 173.28, and the discharge amount 0.0481 m³ per second. And here we have the water quality parameter for this source. Okay, so guys, what if we have a look in the obstruction point? So I said earlier that the obstruction means that we are going to take the water from the river itself. So let's scroll down and have a look into these point sources. So these 2 point sources are a water treatment plant. That means water treatment plant intakes. The first one is here, the second one is here. So what we are going to define here also, we need to define at which location we are going to abstract this water from the river, and also how much the water that we are going to abstract in terms of m³ per second. And we don't need to insert any water quality parameters for the abstraction point. You can notice here there is no water quality parameters at all. Okay, let's have a look in the map for this water treatment plant. So I think it's this water plant, the second one here is the second water treatment plant intake, which locate in this location. So you can notice this is the Fox River. So the intake is somewhere here around this point. So we need to know how much water we are going to take from the river to this water treatment plant, and what is the location from the downstream. So that's all about the obstruction point source. One more thing, guys, you can notice that the location, there is no need to make it like, you know, from the highest to the lowest or so on. You can notice that the location sometimes 33, then it increases and decreases. So it depends on the location of the point source itself. So guys, I think this is all about the point sources. So just to repeat the things, we need to insert both the obstruction and the inflow. For obstruction, we don't need to insert any water quality parameters for the obstructed water. However, for the inflow point sources, we need to insert the water quality parameters, and we have three parameters that we need to insert for each water quality parameters. The first one is the mean value, then the range divided by 2, then the time of the maximum value. So guys, now let's move to the diffuse source. What is the diffuse source? Means, like, the diffuse source is an amount of the water that will go into the river, not as point or a single point. So for example, let's have a look in the tutorial again. So let's just go back to, maybe, I think, page number 8, if I'm not mistaken. So let's have a look. Here in this diagram or figure, you can notice that the non-point source is the amount of the flow that goes into the river for long distance, not as a point like this. And also the non-point or the diffuse obstruction, that means we are going to extract the water or obstruct the water from the river from a long distance, not as a point. So in this case, let's have a look in the Qual2k. In this example for Fox River, we have this diffuse water source. We just need to insert the tributary number, which is 0, because we have only one single river, no tributaries. And here we need to insert what is the distance this water will go inside the river. So for example, it started from 0, which is the downstream here, and the upstream is 140 kilometer. If I just go back to here, so let's see, this is 157 and this is 0. So that means that the diffuse source will go to this location from the downstream, from here. So this distance, okay, so this is the distance. Okay, putting into consideration that this is the point of 140 kilometer from downstream. Okay guys, so let's go back to Qual2k, and here this is the diffuse obstruction. So we are not going to abstract any water from this distance. It's just like, we are going to insert a diffuse source. For example, let's say this value is about 0.05, for example, meters cube per second, and we need to insert the water quality parameters for this diffuse source. So but we don't need to insert these parameters, like, range, time divided by 2, or the time of max. We just need to insert the water quality parameters in terms of mean values. So this, for example, this at the temperature and degrees Celsius, which is 20, and this is the specific conductivity, and other water quality parameters. So there's also the last one is the pH, which is 7. So guys, this is all about the diffuse source as well, and I hope you understand all of these important points about the diffuse and point sources. And if you have any question regarding this, please put it in the comment. Thank you.